This is a continuation of the sermons of the Native American Church of the Ghost Dancers, www.ghostdancers.org. And we're going to continue today the description of the deific ideology of the church. And that preeminently has to do with the hero twins, which is pretty much a pan-indigenous concept. Among the Mayan, they had Xpalanque and Hunahpu. The Hopis had Palanghoya and Pocanghoya. And the Choctaws had Choctaw and Chickasaw, and the older twins were Tushka and Wallo. Now the hero twins did battle with the 9 gods of the underworld for dominion of the 5-sense physical earth plane, and they won that battle. And this was about 5,125 years ago at the advent of the Mayan calendar. That's why that point is very important. They swam away. This was all done in the extramundane world that impinges upon the physical world, and the physical world is really an illusion or a template of this extramundane world. At the summation of this battle that they perfected with the 9 gods of the underworld, and they won, they, however, swam away into the cosmic stream, which is the stream of the Milky Way, the Misha Sipokni, that which is beyond age. And that left the 5-sense world pretty much in the concourse of the 9 gods of the underworld. Now, behind me, again today, we see the doorway to the Western Corridor, which is, this creek is Bologna Creek, and it actually segues in to the Santa Monica Bay. Santa Monica Bay is a place of high strangeness on the planet. They're probably it's probably a place of high strangeness, as much so as is the corridor to the Eastern Gateway in the Western Hemisphere, which is the Caribbean Basin. The Caribbean Basin, of course, has the Bermuda Triangle, and it's been subject to a lot of repression as of late. You might have read in the news about Hurricane Katrina, or the oil company from Britain, British Petroleum, and the decimation of the ecosystem with the oil spill there. Here in the Western Gateway, the Santa Monica Bay has also been subjected to a lot of decimation. However, it is also a position of a corridor where it's along, what I might add, is it's along the 33rd degree parallel. The 33rd degree in Indian Masonry is a very important degree. I'll get into that more in future sermons, why this is such an important degree. But suffice it to say, it has to do with, if you proceed above the 33rd degree, you can no longer perceive the heart of the dog, which is the guardian to this gateway. This creek, Bologna Creek, if you go just over this rise, there's an ancient Indian burial ground, and it's been the subject of Bologna Creek, the Indian burial ground, the Tongva burial ground, has been the subject of many confrontations between corporate America and the Tongva, Gabrielino, and the Chimay people. And that's why this ground is very sacred. But ringing of the what's so-called Mayan calendar, or Native American calendar, for the dominion of the 5-sense reality. And they won that battle against the 9 gods of the underworld. However, for some reason unbeknownst, they swam away into the cosmic stream, which is usually represented as the Misha Sipokne, or the Ophitokpi Hasimbish, the Milky Way galaxy. Interestingly enough, the word for fish, the embodiment that they took to do this, was Nani in Choctaw. The Sumerian Akkadian word for fish is also Nani, coincidentally. And they had these ancient primordial traditions all had this concept that was sort of repressed around the 4th century AD are the Dark Ages in Western Europe. And interestingly enough, in the ancient Hebraic term for fish is nun, which is almost identical to nuni. So it was pretty much a pan-primordial tradition, but it was very strongly effectuated and carried forth and maintained here in the Western Hemisphere. Now the hero twin, the origins of this fight for the dominion of the planet, it takes place and is currently taking place in the extramundane world, which underpins physical reality, what's known as 5 sense physical reality that mankind is entrapped in. Now there's an obverse side to these 5 senses, and it's represented by the standards or the pentagons in Indian Masonry. At the 5th standard, or the 19th degree, you're shown the 19th degree, which are those 2 palm trees that I showed you yesterday. There's actually a standard with 2 palm trees on it, and in the center there's an arc, and that represents the carapace of the turtle from whence Enoch, or corntassel man, will spring forth. But these two palm trees were shown at the 5th standard, or the 19th degree. The 19th degree, interestingly enough, in Mesoamerica is where Teotihuacan is built, which is the great pyramids of the Americas. Behind me you see Bologna Creek, which is which drains into the western corridor, the western gateway to the Americas. The eastern gateway is the Caribbean Basin. These are both places of high strangeness. There's probably more UFO sightings and sightings of strange objects and situations of that nature here in the western corridor than anywhere else on the earth. And especially going up into these mountains behind me, which are the Santa Monica Mountains, which ring the Santa Monica Bay. We're going to venture up into those mountains very soon. We're going to go to some very sacred places and show you how and whence and where from these ancient traditions came from, and how they can be reawakened and opened again in the near future. May you walk in peace until the day it shall last forever.